Hey, what's up? Gonna make a little bit of a different video. It's the new year, just wrapped up, 2021, and we're starting this new year. And I've just been in this space writing down the things that went on in 2021, what I put out and what I did, and making a plan for doing more, for doing better, as I think a lot of you guys might be doing. I wanted to take some time to make this, to maybe share some things that I'm taking away from this last year of making art. Now, first of all, I'm not like a guru guy. I'm naturally not like a pep talker, and it feels a little bit weird to be talking about myself, but I honestly think I might be able to share some thoughts or insights that could help you in your mindset for what you're doing if you're trying to get better this next year. This last year for me, I made the most art that I have in a year. This year, I did a handful of studies, including finishing up my series of hands. I did a few head studies where I started a series doing that, trying out different things and different render methods. I completed a few of my bigger projects, these hyper-realistic portraits, like the orc and my self-portrait. I shipped Back for Blood, which is obviously a big achievement. I made 8 of the main characters in that game, which took a long period of time, but I got to post that this year. And also I made Flex, which is an original character of mine. And the making of that video became the most watched video on my channel. So thank you for that. So I've been looking back on that time and thinking, I'm happy with what I did. And I'm trying to reflect on what I can take with me to kind of move forward in 2022. And I thought I'm going to share that with you right now. So from doing the most work I ever have in a year, these are some things that I learned. All right, number 1, pretty easy one here. Make art a habit. So making art a habit has been crucial for me. I can say that this last year, pretty much the whole year, I stuck to the habit of making something every day. Once you're doing something every day, it takes about 2 weeks to make something a habit. Once it's a habit, it doesn't really take energy for you to upkeep it. That's why it's important. Kind of the debating and tricking myself to do it and all that stuff kind of falls away. And it's just now I'm scheduling my life around this thing that doesn't move. And so it kind of becomes autopilot, and now you're focusing on the problems of your projects. Now, I say art, it's a broad thing. You're going to be doing different things than I'm doing, but the personal pursuit of creating things and making better things over time. For me, that's the 3D modeling and CG art and all the things that come along with that. I needed to be in my chair for at least 2 hours a day for me to feel like I checked off that day and making some sort of forward progress on one of my many projects that I got going on. And I had to be doing some kind of art creativity thing. Sometimes I'm editing videos like this one, right? So that's still being creative, but I'd still try to get a little bit of work on an art project. And if I'm not feeling particularly creative that day, maybe I'll just do some planning, maybe I'll gather some reference. I'm moving the needle in that direction every day, have to be being creative in this chair every day. So for me personally, my habit that I stick to is that from 9 to 11 p.m., my family's asleep, and I'm in this chair working on a project. And also, I'll recommend something for people that have similar problem that I have, which is being distracted today because there's so many things, right? I actually have an app. I use a Mac for most of my stuff. There's probably other apps like this out there, but just for the people curious, I use an app called Focus. And what that does, it just essentially disconnects my computer from the internet. It just blacklists sites and I can't go to it. Time wasting sites, Also do this on your phone. I have a scheduled focus mode, which helps so that I'm not getting notifications and it can split your attention. So the idea is that from 9 to 11, I'm working on something and I'm focused on that, right? And then after that, I can chill and have an evening too. I'm not sacrificing too much, but this goes along with my habit. It helps me get the most out of those 2 hours forcefully, and that has helped me. It just kind of cuts out willpower, and I'm just brute strength, just disconnecting my computer from the internet essentially, so that I have to just do the projects that I'm supposed to be doing, and then after that I can chill. All right, so making art a habit. I think it's really important to do that, and if you can do it every day, do it every day. Second thing I really think is important for anyone is to do a variety of things. You know, variety is the spice of life. It keeps things interesting, but also in terms of getting better and trying things, you get so much more experience by doing a variety of things, not just in subject matter, but in size and scope of projects. Instead of doing 2 or 3 huge projects in a year, doing one big one, a few large ones, and then lots of little ones lets you dabble with more things, different software, different, again, like subject matter, size of project, whatever. And it just makes it, I think, more fulfilling. And it gives you, in my opinion, I think it's a way that I'm getting more experience in a shorter amount of time. We're just going to jump right into the next thing that I learned, which is you never know what you're going to learn. You don't know what you're going to get on the other side of these experiences. Making art is a process. It's this journey. It's this unknown thing where you really just have to step one foot in front of the other. And then when you're at the end of it, it's done. You can kind of look back and things are clear, but you don't know. I don't know. I know it's part of the process. Having a plan is good to do, but you just don't know what you're going to learn. So it's one of the many reasons why doing a variety of things is important, because you're going to learn a lot more things that you didn't know you were going to learn. You know what I'm saying? You can't just plan it. So try a bunch of different stuff, follow your interests. And then once you're done with something, take note of what you learned, those interesting things that came up that you didn't realize. Those are going to be tools you're going to be using on your next projects, which you're going to learn more stuff that you can't plan for. So jumping around to doing that stuff and making sure you take that time to reflect back and think, oh, wow, you know, this is something that I want to know in the future. And just plan to be open to receive the things you're going to learn, because you can't plan for everything. You just got to take it as it comes. All right, I think this is the fourth thing now. The next thing that I think I want to remember moving forward is to invest in yourself, is something now that I think about. And this is going to be really broad, but I think it's an important way to think about what you're doing. Investing in yourself, you can do a lot of different ways, right? But essentially, doing personal work should be a way to invest in yourself. That should be the main thing. Like, if it's a way to follow your interests and get satisfaction and grow, that's it. You should do that. Another way of saying it could be like, if you have 2 projects to choose from that you're debating about, and one you think might not be as appealing to other people, or would take longer, or, you know, there's just excuses to not do it, but you can feel that you're more interested in doing that, that's what you should do. Another way of saying it could be, if you really want a career doing something, you know, in the creative field, using some of these skills, then taking on projects that are really challenging, that force you to rise to the challenge of taking on some of these tools and techniques that would be vital in that career path, then you should do that. It's a way of investing in yourself, in addition to doing things you're interested in addition to just the personal growth and mental health I think you glean from taking on challenging creative projects. So just make sure you're doing it for yourself. Make sure you're doing things that are going to be benefiting you long term. On the subject of learning new skills and taking things on, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. So shout out to Skillshare. Thank you for sponsoring the video. I've been a member of Skillshare for years. Kind of goes without saying, what we're talking about right now is just learning new things and getting better. And I go there to learn all kinds of, like, you know, odd little skills and stuff that help me do things. I mentioned how I like to use Notion, and there's some power users on there that have helped me organize my chaotic life. So I love some of the courses on using Notion to do a lot of cool creative ways to organize things. Also shooting videos like I'm doing right now, like how to use my camera and like different kind of light setups and stuff. These are the kind of things that I go to Skillshare myself to see like how experts do it. I love that that's a resource with premium content like that. You know all about it. We've said it before. Skillshare, thousands of classes, all kinds of different skills that you can think of. It's in a bunch of different countries. So really, there's a ton of things that you could learn on there. And I've got a link in my description. The first 1,000 people get a free month. You just click that link and you get Skillshare for a month. You can learn some things for free and just check it out to see if it's something that you like. Maybe Skillshare is one of the many things that could help you learn some new things in 2022. All right, next thing. This might be one of the biggest things. It's something I relearned, but this last year I think it became an important part of producing, again, more things than I ever have. Okay. And that's something I'm not trying to take lightly, because frankly, I don't want to do less now. You know what I mean? I don't want to do less. Like for me, I've been thinking about in 2022, how do I do at least the same? I want to do more, right? So I need to be mindful of what I was doing and keep it going and add more. And okay, the thing that I think is important is getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Now that's something you'll hear a lot of guru-y people say, like the David Goggins and the, I don't know, Joe Rogan. I don't know, just people that are overachievers and live like these hardcore lives, right? And I'm not saying I do that at all. That's not me. I sit at a desk and I make like monsters and shit. But there are times where you're 50 hours in or it's past midnight, you had a long day and you're tired, and it's going to feel like a grind, and not doing it is going to feel so easy to do. Just not do it. Just don't. Just go, watch Netflix or something. Not giving into those things and keeping your butt in that chair and being uncomfortable for a while, that is what moves the needle. Like now when I feel that and I know that bailing would be so easy, it's so tempting, I feel like the longer I am pushing forward, the more mileage I'm gaining on my competitors, to put it that way. Just everyone's trying to get better. Everyone's trying to move forward. If you can figure out how to keep going when you don't necessarily feel like it 100%, when it's not fun, sometimes some of these projects, they take some processes that take like 5-10 hours total. That is not fun, tedious work, but it gets you there, So there's all kind of strategies you can do, listening to different things if it's not, mentally taxing, taking a break, coming at, switching tasks so you're making progress, whatever it is, to just not stop doing it. Realize when you're feeling uncomfortable and see if you can just keep going. And just the more you do it, the more comfortable you are being uncomfortable, and you realize nothing really is going to happen. It's just this is the new state of being now, and we're still moving forward. The last thing I want to share about doing the kind of work that I've been doing that might help anyone that's doing these multi-day, multi-week-long big projects is to not only organize it, you have to be writing some things down to be able to plan long-term and look at things from a more meta, bird's-eye point of view and plan for those big things. But the work is moment to moment, day by day. And if you are thinking about all the things you need to do, it can be overwhelming. It can be anxiety inducing. And so really the key is to just take it little bit by little bit. When I'm feeling really overwhelmed to the point where I almost feel like I'm just stopping and going slow because there's so much on my mind that's splitting my attention, I'll just take time to make tasks that are really granular. Anything I can do to shift my focus back to the little tasks that I can achieve to make progress, because it's those little tasks that build for these big tasks. So just chip away. Which is actually something I first heard in the behind the scenes of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
We actually assume that the film is shot mute because we don't hear any sound, so we're assuming that everything we do is all there is. And we look at them sometimes and go, oh man.
Chip away.
Chip away.
Ever since I heard that, I've never forgotten it. It's such a great way to describe, working on a huge project. Just like a huge gargantuan statue, the only thing you can do is just chip away at the block, chip away, and eventually you'll get there. All right, so that's just some of the things I learned this last year. I hope that helped you in some way, at least something to think about when you're taking on your own challenges for this next year. Another thing in the way that relates to what I do, making CG art, 3D art, this stuff, is that the future is more real time. That's something that I'm thinking about myself. So if you're doing CG art, 3D art, that's another thing that I feel like I've learned that's not going anywhere. We were on this path the whole way, but we're kind of getting there now. But like the things like the renderers like Redshift and Octane, the GPUs that have come out last year and that are continuing to come out and get better, and then, software and render engines like Unreal Engine, companies and productions are using these things. And of course they are. Directors get to see things faster. Artists get to make things faster. These are the things you want to be embracing and learning if you're going to be taking on new software this year, if you're going to be trying new projects to test some things out. Trying these things is going to help you, because getting good at this stuff is going to keep you more contemporary, and the future is just going to be more and more real time. I feel like 5 or 10 years down the road, if the world doesn't blow up, we're going to be doing amazing art in super fast, and it's going to look like production ready like the whole time. And that should be a fun time. So let's really hope that the world keeps going, you know, and that we get to take in all of the awesome stuff that we're on track to get. But that's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm really thankful for everything that went down in 2021. Here on YouTube, I put out 17 videos, and I grew my subscribers by more than double, which is kind of incredible. And I just want to keep going. I want to keep making videos that you like, and get better at that and make more, and just keep this going. So just thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. If you commented, whatever, just thank you so much for being a part of this, and let's just all do better in 2022. All right. Thank you. Be honest. Can you tell that it's the third week of quarantine?